Hello, can you hear me? I think you can hear me. All right, it's 12 o'clock. Hello, my name is Tim, and I want to say welcome to those of you that are here and listening in. These are the... Oh, Kelly Hudak says, I can hear you. Yeah, that's great. Hey, Kelly, long time no see. I would like to talk about Patanjali today, to talk a little bit about a Yoga Sutra. But before I do that, let me just say that this is part of Miami Life Center's Chat and Chai that we usually do in person at our yoga studios, at our yoga studio in Miami's South Beach. But because of the coronavirus, of course, we cannot do that. Therefore we do it here. So if you're from far away, maybe you have the possibility to actually be part of it like that. And talking about the coronavirus, I hope you all are safe. I hope you keep yourself safe. I hope you keep each other safe. I hope you help each other out there the best you can. Of course, from 6 feet apart, or stay at home altogether. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but this is where I live. In this corner, my wife puts me there. No, it's not true. Yeah, keep safe. It's the responsible thing to do. It's the only thing we can do at the time being. So don't mess around. All right, good. So here's what I would like to do. I would like to talk about a particular sutra, a particular statement that Patanjali sets forth in his thesis, the Yoga Sutras. It is in the first book, the Samadhi Pada, if you're familiar with that, and it is number 20. I will not go into today so much what the overall structure of the sutras are. I will somehow just take for granted that you have a little bit of previous experience about the information, the knowledge base that this particular sutra is tied into. If you do not have any experience with Yoga Sutras, or you're looking for a good read, then I can recommend you to, if you have never read before, my suggestion would be that you pick up a Yoga Sutra and you choose the commentaries from Swami Satchidananda. I personally like that a lot. It was the first one that I read, and it is on the lighter side, not in terms of heart and content, but in terms of intellectual, analytical stuff. Then after that, there's other ones that are really wonderful also, of course. Best is always to learn it firsthand from a teacher that really knows about this. Personally, I have studied in India. That is where I learned most of it, with a professor down there that I cherished very, very much. Okay. So we're looking at the 20th sutra in the first book, and it says Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna, Purvaka, Iteresham. So what the heck does that mean? So that is the Sanskrit words, and what I thought to do is just to break the sutra down word for word, so you have an idea what the words means, and then begin to put them back together to a sentence about what does the sentence say. And then after that, then I'll go into more detail about what is meant with this sutra. All right, so Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna, Purvaka, Iteresham. It means that we need to have Shraddha. We need to have 5 things to study yoga. We need to have Shraddha, which means faith or trust. We need to have Virya, means drive, vitality, vigor. We need to have Smriti, which means memory. That's a little bit weird. I'll come back to that. And then we need to have experience of Samadhi, or we could say that the state of yoga, And that experience is a wise experience, so the wisdom of Samadhi. We need to have that. And then Purvaka iteration means basically that we're referring to the Sutra number 19 that came right before, where it states that there are beings that lives in a permanent state of Samadhi, that thing that the yogi is so aspiring to move towards. And these beings, they're called videhas, they don't have a physical body, and they are just floating around wherever it is, in a constant state of Samadhi. Now, so they don't need to work very hard for that. The rest of us, that's what iteration means. It means the rest of us, we need to constantly work on these 5 principles to move ourselves efficiently towards yoga. Purvaka means something like the prerequisite or the requisite for moving towards the state of yoga is these 5 things. All right, so that's what that means. So let's take a look at a little bit of that. So the first one, Shraddha, that we are suggested to cultivate. So the common translation of the Sanskrit word Shraddha is faith. So the first thing that Patanjali says is that to move ourselves towards yoga, to practice yoga efficiently, we must have faith. So faith in what? Faith in the guru, faith in the system, blind faith in a god or something like that. So what he says about that is not really blind faith we are after. We are after a particular kind of faith. I like more to think about the translation as being true conviction, true knowing, trust in. So how do we get trust in anything? It seems to me that the good old-fashioned idea that trust is not given, trust is earned, is important here. So if I want to have trust in anybody, they must earn my trust, they must earn my respect. If you want to have trust in me, I must earn your trust from you in the same way. So here's an example that was given to me by my philosophy professor in India. So someone has a bottle with some liquid inside. The liquid is clear. So I'm looking at that bottle and I'm thinking, what's inside the bottle? Could it be water? Could it be vodka? I can always hope for the latter. But so what is it? I bring some friends over, we sit, we look at the bottle, we turn it upside down, we think, where's the bottle coming from? Who gave me the bottle? What is very likely that's in there? And so forth. We can bring forward a lot of theses about what could be in the bottle. But until we tap, we open the lid and we take a sip, until then we have no idea. We have not true knowing, we only have speculation. So, but at the moment that I take a sip, I go, oh, it wasn't vodka? Damn, it was water. So now I know. That knowing is true knowing. So when you afterwards, you come to me and you say, Tim, what was in there? I say it was water. And they say, are you sure? I say, yeah, I'm totally sure. I just put the lid back on. I tasted it. If you drink it, I 100% faith that this is water that's in there. Because I have experienced it. I have tried it. I can give it now. I would be completely fine with passing this bottle over to my sister's 3-month-old baby girl and giving them a sip of that. Before I tap the lid off, I would not quite be sure about whether I should do that or not. I could have an idea that it would probably be fine, but I wouldn't know 100% for sure. So this is the faith. This is the experiential faith. The experiential experience, the experiential knowing that we are after in yoga. We're going towards that. Let me just see if there's something else. I took a couple of notes down here. So. Oh yeah, so of course in asana, that is the kind of knowing that we only have through practice. So if we have heard about yoga, you say, yeah, I think yoga is good for me, but I have a little bit of an issue in my back, so maybe I shouldn't do yoga because it could make it worse. You speak to a couple of different people that did yoga, some says yes, some say no. But until you do the actual yoga, you will not know if this is going to be good for your back or not. Same thing with an asana. You do an asana, whoa, that looks really scary. Is that going to be good for me? Am I going to break, or am I going to get more healthy from doing this asana? When will you know? When you have done this asana for about a year, so forth. Now you know if this is good for you, this asana, if it is generally a good asana, and what you can learn from this asana. Now, if you are the teacher also, then now you can go out and you can teach this asana. You can very clearly teach it because you know where its trouble points is, you know where its benefits is, you know everything about it. Now you can pass it on with great conviction to the next person. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. That would be about Shraddha. So then the next principle is called Virya. So Virya is something like drive, something like vitality, and an action and embodiment, energy, a spirit of enthusiasm. I think there's a word called a verb. I'm from Denmark, so that's a new word for me, but that means something like that, like a powerful ability to take action. So Virya is that. So we need to have that also to be able to put ourselves into the yoga method. Now, here's the thing. If we don't have conviction in the yoga method, if we don't have conviction in the asana, it is impossible to put ourselves fully and committed and trustingly into the yoga method or into the asana. So to get to have Virya, to have that ability to embody the material, to put our body into the asana, to put the asana into our body, we need to have faith that it's going to be good for us. Yeah. All right. So what can we use this Virya for? What can we use this vigor, this drive for? Now we have the faith, therefore we have found the vigor. We are willing to move in now because we believe in this. We have experiential experience of this, therefore we can go forward. It's not a problem. There's unhealthy doubt has been is absent now. It's not there anymore. So what can we use it for? Of course, this vigor we need to use it for action. With faith, we can find the Virya. With the Virya, we can do what? We can take action. So we need to take action when we found these two first possibilities, these first two principles. Now, what action are we going to take? What am I talking about here? So that's a good question. So and by the way, I was the one who asked the question. No, just kidding. So what action are we taking? So that is a good question, and that of course has to do with the principle of Dharma. So what is Dharma? Dharma means something like that we do our duty, that we do what is rightfully the thing that I as an individual should be doing with my life. Now what is that? That is a good question. That changes from everybody. But the action that we should take in life has to do with what our situation are and who we are. There's a very good example of that in the Indian book called the Bhagavad Gita. Maybe you've heard about it, where there is a guy, his name is Arjuna, and he's a warrior, and he's an archery guy. He happens to be the best warrior of all times, and his job is to protect the kingdom. That's what he's been born for. That's his dharma. That's what he has learned his entire life. If anything happens to the kingdom, he's the one who has to go and defend it. Now, lo and behold, the day comes where he's being called upon to come out and defend the kingdom. Right before the battle, he rides down between the two opposing armies that is about to clash, and he sees that not only on his own side, the people of the kingdom that he's trying to protect is all his friends, his family and so forth, but even on the other side, of the Kauravas, there is also his family is also there, and his old guru, his old teacher is there, all kind of people that he loves. So right there he realized he's protecting a lot of people that he loves, but to protect them he needs to fight a lot of people that he loves. So that kind of depletes him, and he gets very, very doubtful, and he comes to a place where he says, I don't want to fight. If the only way that I can do my duty is to fight these people, I don't want to fight. Then, long story short, Krishna comes down, the embodiment of God in this particular story comes down, have a little chat with him, and says, "Listen, man, you are the guy that has to defend the kingdom here. If you don't defend it, no one will. So it is your job, and you must take this duty on, and you must do your duty." So in this case, Arjuna is the warrior that has to protect the kingdom, therefore he has to fight. Now the baker of the same city, he did not need to fight for the city. He probably needed to wake up in the morning, get out of bed, and feed everybody that was in the army and in the whole city. So that would be their different duties. The fireman of the city, he would need to come and turn out the fires. The teachers, they would need to keep teaching and keep the kids safe, things like that. For us, give me one sec here. For us yogi aspirants, it basically means that we have taken a vow of living by a higher ethical standard. That's kind of part of the whole yogic paradigm. So that means that we need to do that. So in a time like now, when the coronavirus is going around with us, we have to somewhat take some kind of leadership in this. We have to make sure that we're doing the right thing, because people, they will be looking to us for advice and so forth. Now, so the yogi, he has to stand up for what is right. The fireman, he has to turn out the fires. The protector of the realm, he must protect the realm. The teacher must teach. The artist must create art, and so forth. So that is basically what the idea about what Dharma mean. And the Dharma comes in to this sutra, because that defines the action that you need to take when you have found your vigor, your drive, your ability to act, because you have found out what is right and wrong. You have trust in the direction forward. Yeah. All right. Good. Let's go to the next thing. So we have Shraddha and Virya, and then after that comes Smriti. So what is Smriti? Smriti means memory. So that's a little bit weird one, right? Because memory, we usually work with from the idea that memory is our ability to record something that we have experienced in the past, and not only we record it, but we can call it up again. So that means that when I learned to ride the bicycle yesterday, when I wake up the next day, I can still remember that class, and I can still remember that how to ride the bicycle. And all I need to do is get back on the bicycle and redo what I have recorded from yesterday. I don't need to learn it all over again every single day. That's what memory can do for us. It's pretty smart. Great app to have. But in this case, it means a little bit different. It means to remember, and it means to remember who we truly are, what is truly important, and how things truly are. So it comes from the idea, the yogic idea, that we have kind of forgotten a little bit about who we truly are, but we can come back to that through our life, through our kind of buying into this whole paradigm of modern living, where we must grow up, and we must educate, and we must get a job, and we must, get a house, and then we must get a bigger house, and then maybe we must get a nicer car, and then we must get like Calvin Klein underwear, and and so forth, and it keeps going like that. In that whole paradigm, of course, and we need to get at least 50,000 Instagram followers, and therefore first we need to get like a really flippin' rocking handstand, so we can get to that point, and so forth. So in that whole paradigm, we start to potentially he proposes that we begin to forget what is our true values, and what should we really be doing. Who are we really? So when he talks about Smriti, he talks about coming back to ourselves, connecting back to the creative source, to that creative source that we all have, where everything springs from, our passions, our desires, our knowing of what is right and wrong, and so forth. That source that the artist classically is so in touch with, and therefore can tune into and feel what's going on inside, not only of him or herself, but like universally, and what needs to be done in society at the time being. And put out their voice. So Smriti is about that. It is about connecting back to the intuitive knowing of who we truly are. Now that can only happen if we can embody the path. So if you look at it from an asana practitioner's point of view, for instance, you are doing your asana and you're going into an asana that's a little bit strong and a little bit scary. Now you can only go into this asana if you trust the method. If you have built up a lot of time on other asanas and you figure out, wow man, this system really works for me. Then when there come an asana that seems like, is this really good or bad? Then maybe you have enough Shraddha, enough trust that you will try the new one. When you try the new one, even though there's a little bit of skepticism here, then you are able to, because of your faith, you are able to embody and put your body into that asana. When you fully can put your body into that asana, now you can begin to extract the information that you can get from this asana, from this moment. If you do not have the faith, therefore you do not have the ability to commit yourself and dedicate yourself to the moment, to the asana, to the sensations, good and bad and so forth, then you cannot begin to extract the information, the sensation, the knowledge that is within this particular asana, this particular movement. Then you have been removed from that possibility. When you cannot move yourself into the asana, you cannot get the information. That information, part of that information, is that deep intuitive coming back to yourself. Yeah, all right. I hope that makes sense. Good. All right. So when we are able to pursue with faith, to find vigor, and to begin to connect back into ourselves, what is it that we find in there? So that's where Patanjali says, what we find there is wisdom. What wisdom? Samadhi wisdom. Wisdom of yoga, the true yoga. Prajna means wisdom, samadhi means the state of yoga. So through faith, through vigor, and through reconnecting, we begin to tap into this place where knowledge of true yoga begins to be available to us. So prajna just means that, means wisdom. Samadhi, on the other hand, the state of yoga, means a place where there is no more struggle. It's a place where all the daily and of unfulfillment and so forth, that starts to fall away. It's a place where things works out with less friction. It's a place where things comes together instead of there being divisions and struggle in that way. They start to merge to a oneness, and that's why we call it the union, the yoga, the state of union. So sama means steady, like even, equanimous, well established, quiet, calm, deep. And Adi means the infinite. It means what goes on forever. So we could also talk about that in a more spiritual sense, a religious sense, that would be the state of a divinity or a god or so forth. So this means to rest, to be steadily established in the absolute. That is what samadhi means, and there's different stages of that. So basically what Patanjali says with this sutra is, if you want to align yourself up with a deeper sense of connection with how everything works and the deepest reality of the universe, which would be the samadhi prajna, the wisdom of samadhi, then you need to be able to connect first back into yourself and find that source through which a portal opens where we can experience that. And to get that, we need to have the ability to let go of our doubt when needed and take the right action at the right time. And to be able to do that, we need to build up enough, we need to earn enough trust in a method or in what we're doing to be able to go there fully and committed. All right, I think that was it. That was the talk for today. I think that's about half an hour. That's what I intended to do. So let me just finish off here with saying that to just like turn this over one more time. So if you on its head, so if you come out into practice without faith in the system, then when you meet an asana that is not comfortable for you, you're not going to be able to trust that asana. When you are not able to trust that asana, then you will not be able to embody yourself, to put your body into it, to make it physical, to chew it up. When you're not able to chew it up, you cannot get you cannot extract the information that is in there. And by the end of the day, the information that is in there is that deep, essential experience of a deeper truth and a union and a peace that Patanjali and yoga promises. That was that. And when we cannot experience all that, then we cannot pursue, we cannot find, and we cannot pursue our Dharma, because we don't know what we're supposed to do, and we don't know how to do it, and we might not have the necessary conviction to move in that direction. And yoga's grand scheme here is liberation, so we have the courage to figure out who we are and to take that and use that fully in our lives, and for that sake beyond this life. Do we believe in that? Oh, I don't know, but that is what Patanjali suggests, and that's my job to talk about that. So, okay. All right, that was it for today. I hope that this was interesting. I hope that this potentially would give you a little bit of fire in your practice or in your life. And I hope that you will keep practicing, and I hope that you will keep studying, and I hope that you will go to your mat every day and be very awake and very vividly aware when you're that. Okay, thank you so much. Oh, by the way, if you have some suggestions to what I should talk about next week, then please write it down below in the comments, and I'll see if I can use that as an inspiration for next week's talk. Hope to see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye bye.